What's good, everybody? This is Rich Medina, representing the Rocksteady crew, representing Jumpin' Funk and Props here in New York City. And you are now in tune to simplyrides.com. Right now, we're at the Harlem stage Gatehouse, and the reason we're here tonight is to celebrate the 10-year anniversary for my Afrobeat and global soul party called Jumpin' Funk. I first got involved in Fela's music through a record dealer friend. You know, I had heard Fela's music. I knew of Water No Good Enemy. I knew of Upside Down, but I'd never paid a deep level of attention to it. And just through buying records from Ari, you know, he's like, you know, judging from the stuff that you're buying from me, I think this would be up your street. And he gave me the best of Fela compilation. And I went home, I went through all the records I bought, enjoyed it. And when I came across that album, I think I listened to it for about a week straight. I listened to nothing but that record. And I was trying to, you know, I hadn't really taken the time to sit with the cover and understand everything about it. But as I began to listen to it, I'm realizing, oh, okay, this brother's from Lagos, Nigeria. You know, that's the origin of black on black crime. So this guy's tough. Sounds like patois. Oh, actually, it's Tree. You know, I started getting my head around the language and the music, and I was really taken aback by the syncopation in the drums and the American funk sensibility that he added to it. And it was clearly an African statement. And once I realized what Fela's story was and who he was and who his family was in Lagos and what he represented for, you know, anyone who feels like the heel of the system is on their neck, it really opened me up to wanting to research and explore his music a lot more. I just started going after the catalog, and over time I developed a bit of a reputation for always incorporating Fela Kuti into my sets. In particular, I had a residency at a place in Philadelphia called the Palmer Social Club. I was playing on the third floor. It was like, you know, hip-hop on the first floor, progressive house on the second floor, and me on the third playing a stew of soul music, you know, whether it was down-tempo breaks or loft classics or garage classics. But at some point in the night, I would always incorporate more of an African drum perspective, and Fela was my lead for that. So I went through a good 8 or 9 years where, you know, play a George Benson record, play a Shaka Khan record, play a Earth, Wind and Fire record. People are going crazy. You know, put one Fela Kuti record on and they run like roaches when the lights come on. So, you know, it wasn't always so sexy to the average American ear on the dance floor in a nightclub. And I stuck to my guns, I stuck with it, I kept incorporating it. You know, in due time, some of those same people who were running upon hearing those drums right away were singing the hooks. In due time, the people who were singing the hooks to the few songs that they knew were asking me more about the artist. Who is this? Where can I get this music? And it forced my research muscle to turn up even more at that point, and just became a real student of Nigerian high life music and juju music and Afrobeat, of course, and from there it was just a snowball rolling downhill. I know that I'm the first disc jockey to incorporate Fela Kuti as a memorial party ever. And there were bands before me, there's DJs and artists who have come after me and during the same time who champion the same sound, but Jumpin' Funk is definitely a cornerstone of the awareness factor for who Fela Kuti is. My first car was probably the car, like if you look up Hoopty in the dictionary, my first car is there chilling like, hey. A guy that my mom was kind of dating at the time had an oldest, I don't know what year it was a cobalt blue Toyota Corolla. I bought it from her for $200. I drove the car, to Cornell, barely made it. Drove back and forth to basketball practice and fall ball up until basketball season, and the first snowfall, that car was curtains. And it sat in front of our dorm and collected tickets for the remainder of the school year. And that was my first vehicular purchase. It was the biggest hoopty on the planet. Peace, everybody. Thanks for listening.